The Prime Minister sheds his views of purse seine fishing in the Cook Islands, drawing attention to the Marae Moana project, which is to protect certain parts of the ocean for the country's use.
After a recent public sharing meeting held by MMR on the development of purse seine fishing in the Cook Islands, it was clear that the public were against the development of purse seine fishing. Minister of Fisheries and Prime Minister Henry Puna stated these opposing views made by the public as mere emotions, and it is the scientific facts that drive the development of purse seine fishing in the Cook Islands.
The most noises appear to be coming from those against it, but I think a lot of the noises are just based on emotion. Because as Minister of Fisheries and as Prime Minister of this country, I think the best course is for us to be guided by science at all times. You know, this is a scientific issue, and we need to be guided by science in whatever decisions we make, not emotions.
The Prime Minister sounded confident in that future agreements made with purse seiners were likely in order to not miss out on any economic opportunities.
There's one thing that is overlooked, and that is for us to have any part in fisheries in the Pacific, we need to have an established catch history. That's how they allocate fishing days to nations in the Pacific. It's based on your catch history, and you can only have a catch history if you have a fisheries that's operating. And that means fishing companies catching fish and reporting it and recording it, so that the Central Fisheries Agency, FFA, in the Pacific can have a history of how much fish is caught in your waters. And what our people, or those against fishing, seem to overlook is that at the moment we have no catch history. And there is a real danger that if we go down this path too much longer, that we'll end up missing out altogether. You've got to allow fisheries, control fisheries, in order to have a catch history. And your allocation of how many fishing days you can claim under the system operating in the Pacific is based on that. So, the choice is there. Either we proceed with fisheries, but managing it properly, or we miss out altogether. And that's a choice that confronts us as a country.
Though there was recent expansion of purse seine fishing in the country, the Prime Minister was clear it would not impact the international credibility of the Marae Moana Marine Park.
No, Marae Moana is something that's very dear to us and to this government. In fact, tomorrow morning I'm addressing all the harms on the next step for, I guess, putting in place a legal structure for the Marae Moana. And part of that, essential to that, is the very strong representations from the Northern Group Islands that they want to be part of the Marae Moana. They want to be included. And that came to Cabinet last year, and Cabinet agreed and accepted the recommendations. But also part of the recommendations was that there be an exclusion zone around each island, extending up to 50 miles from the reef, and that is to protect all the fisheries in that area, for local use and consumption, i.e. no commercial fishing. Now, those things we need to take on board and find a way to implement, because our people were very, very clear and very strong in their views. They wanted it, not just for now, but for the generations of tomorrow.
Marae Moana was first brought to life just over 3 years ago, and although it is not yet legal, it is hoped that its legal structure and its timeline for getting the 50 nautical mile exclusion zone will be better understood after the Prime Minister meets with the head of ministries tomorrow.
If you think, 3.5 years is a long time, because that's when we came into government, And that's when the Marae Moana thing started moving. But you will appreciate that we have a lot of islands, a lot of people, to consult with. And our steering committee has been up to the north once, and they've come away with some very clear recommendations. So those processes, you can't rush, and you shouldn't rush. But what is important is their views are coming through very clearly, and government is responding to those views.
The Ipukaria Society, along with other local organisations, businesses and individuals, are calling for a total ban on purse seine fishing. A national petition is now being made in order to send a clear message to Parliament that the public do not want purse seine fishing in our waters.